teammates in your defensive huddle. Is that kind of surreal to you in a sense?
Definitely. It was like last year when I came in, I was like, oh snap, like that's Bobby Wagner,
Right.
Like, and then we just got Von Miller, and like still like a kid in me is like, dang, like that's really Von Miller, you know what I mean? But when I was getting, when I was coming out, I always prayed about just having good vets, guys to look up to, guys who've been in the game for a while who can give me, like teach me, like show me the ropes. And I've been blessed to have a plethora of them on this team. So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for the guys in this building, and I'm just pick their brains any chance I get to help myself out.
And now being no longer a rookie, you get to pay it forward. How are you trying to help this rookie class kind of assimilate into the culture here in Washington?
I would say just telling them like what it was for me last year. Any questions they have, if I haven't, I'll try to have an answer. If I don't, I definitely know somebody in here who does. So just like I said, just giving them my experience, what I did to help myself out, because it's fresh for me, as opposed to a guy like Bobby who's been in it for 30 years. You know what I'm saying? But I would say just like I said, just being able to tell them like, look, this is the steps I did. This is the routine I followed. This is who I watched through their routine, and just kind of made it into my own. But they're a great group of guys, and I think they're already trying to, they're already navigating their way through this off season, and they're asking the right questions. They're going around the right guys and doing the right things. So they just got to keep doing that. When the season comes, just find a way to get on there.
All right, Mikey Sanderson, appreciate your time. Stay healthy. Have a great second year, man. Much more to come right here on Toyota Sports Talk. Stay with us. All right, brother.
All right, good to go.
Thank you, man. Great interview, sir. Here's your Michigan grad right there.
Oh, you graduated?
We are
Okay.
rolling.
In 3, 2. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Toyota Sports Talk. Tonight, we're coming to you from Washington Commanders training camp. Oh, it is so great to be out here again. Another season is here. The 2025 edition with the Washington Commanders. Listen, they were one win away from going to the Super Bowl last year. They retooled, they reloaded, and look to take that next step this year behind Jaden Daniels, Von Miller, Laramie Tunsil. Go down the list. They got a lot of great players on this roster to kind of set the stage for the season, bringing in my guy, Bram Weinstein, the radio voice of the Washington Commanders. Bram, as always,
Thanks, Scott.
happy football.
Yeah, I know. Nice. Our summer's ended, but
is,
in
yeah.
a good way.
How does it feel?
Yeah.
I mean, what's your feeling with this team? Obviously, I mentioned some new faces. They kind of reloaded in a sense.
Yeah, I think they're better across the board. I still think there are some questions for sure, but I think they're better. It doesn't mean they're going to have the same record. So I think because of the strength of schedule that they're facing, the amount of night games, the kind of wonkiness of the schedule, go to Madrid, play Thursday night against a prime opponent, week 2, a lot of night games, a lot of high profile games, like they could have a worse record but be a better team by the end of all of it. So I think that that's kind of how I feel about it. And I do think the goal is get back to the playoffs one way or the other.
I'm a glass half full mentality approach here. So what are some things that you're very encouraged about, optimistic about? Here we are talking in July and August.
I think there's a couple of position groups that were either liabilities or perceived weaknesses a year ago that have flipped and potentially have become strengths. I think the Laramie Tunsil trade really changed everything for the team. If there's a trickle-down effect to it, Brandon Coleman moving to a position where I think he could excel, not unlike the way Sam Cosmi moved from right tackle to right guard, Coleman now at left guard, Biadasz at center. There was news this week that Sam Cosmi might be fast-tracking back to the lineup, maybe sooner than I think I even would have expected, considering he tore his ACL in January. That if he could play within the first month of the season, that's a really good outcome. Josh Connerly, they love him. They'll tell you that they love him. So the offensive line, if you think about what it was a year ago when we were talking about this, I think we were sitting there going, I don't know.
What is it going to look like? What's it going to be?
I don't know. This year feels like could be a strength. Corners, same thing. If you think about who the starting corners and the depth at the position was just a year ago, and think about it now, assuming health of Marshawn Lattimore, the way at least first impressions go, I don't know how you felt about it, but Trey Amos really looked the part to me. Mike Sanders still year 2 after having an incredible second half of the season, rookie year 1. It's another position group that went from a huge liability, played out that way, to a humongous potential strength. So I do think there are still holes and there's still things to think about for the future, but I feel better about them across the board. And in a couple key position groups, I think the front office has done an amazing job kind of flipping the talent pool.
Speaking of feeling better, I had some questions, concerns about the edge rushing position. Obviously, Von Miller,
Yep.
future Hall of Famer, will help that. I do have some concerns and questions still on the D-line. Let's take that other side. What are some maybe question marks you have position group-wise with this roster?
I love the depth of the D-line. I think the moves they made will make them a better rush defense. Like, I'm pretty convinced of that. I think they needed to bring someone like Von Miller in here. Like, I never was convinced that they weren't going to try to find somebody. How much is he going to play at 35 years old, off of a number of injuries the last couple of years? I feel like this is the baseball trade deadline, and they traded for a closer. That they brought in somebody that I think they're going to try to use, you know, maybe as a specialist at the right time, and hope that they throw, you know, 7-11 and, you know, like, hit the jackpot with them. And they've done a lot of that with some of these older players. I agree with you about the defensive line. You need to see it to believe it. I think it's a very deep group. It's a very veteran-laden group. They're bigger and more stout up front. I think they have a lot of different combinations. I think that's one of the things in training camp I'm going to watch. Who's playing with who and where? I mean, even just on day one, I saw Javon Kinlaw, and I know it's early, lined up on the edge. So I don't really know what these things are going to look like. I like the group as a whole, but do they have a group that is a game-changing group? That's to be seen.
And there's also a narrative starting to develop about the age
Yep.
of this roster. The oldest team in the NFL. Big deal or not a big deal?
I don't think it is. I really don't. I think that, to me,